Sofia Assefa is the former track runner. Ethiopia against Ethiopia here. Bizuager Aderra with that massive carrot of huge prize money here.
የሁለት ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች 42 ኪሎ ሜትሮችን በአስገራሚ ብቃትና ጽናት ከሮጡ በኋላ የመጨረሻዎቹን 200 ሜትሮች አሸናፊ ሆኖ ለማጠናቀቅ የሚተናነቁበት የኢስታንቡል 2025 ማራቶን ውድድር ነው። በዚህ ውድድር ኮሜንታተሩ ሲገልጽ እንደሰማነው Bizuager አደራና ሶፊያ አሰፋ ኢትዮጵያዊ ከኢትዮጵያዊ እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ ይፋጠጡበታል። የ2025 የኢስታንቡል ማራቶን ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች በአስገራሚ ብቃት በድል የተቆናጠጡበት ሆኗል። በሴቶች የተደረገውን ይህንን ውድድር አንደኛና ሁለተኛ ሆነው አትሌቶቹ አጠናቀዋል። በወንዶቹም ቢሆን ደጀኔ ደበላና ሱፋሮ ዋሊይ ተከታትለው በመግባት ማሸነፍ ችለዋል። የተወደዳችሁ የኢትዮ አትሌቲክስ ተከታታዮች ለዛሬ በኢስታንቡል ማራቶን 2025 ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ ተፋጠውና ተፎካክረው ለአሸናፊነት ትንቅንቅ ያደረጉበትን ውድድር ይዘን መተናል። ላይክ በማድረግ ይህ ቪዲዮ ለብዙ ሰዎች እንዲዳረስ አግዙን። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን መሆኑን እንዳትዘነጉት። ጅማሮን 1979 በፈረንጆቹ አቆጣጠር ያደረገው የኢስታንቡል ማራቶን ዘንድሮ በ2025 ለ47ኛ ጊዜ የተደረገ ነበር። በዓለም አትሌቲክስ የወርቅ ደረጃ የተሰጠው ይህ የጎዳና ላይ ውድድር በዓለማችን ሁለት አህጉራትን የሚያካልል ብቸኛው የማራቶን ውድድር ተብሎ ይጠራል። ከተማዋ ኢስታንቡል በሁለት አህጉሮች ላይ ተዋልላለች፣ በእስያና በአውሮፓ እና የኢስታንቡል ማራቶንም እንደዚያ ነው። ከእስያ እስከ አውሮፓ ድረስ አትሌቶች ይሮጡበታል። በርካታ ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች በዚህ ውድድር ላይ በመካፈል ትልልቅ የሚባሉ ድሎችን ከዚህ ቀደም ሲያስመዘግቡ ተመልክተናል። ሞገስ ታዬ ከ1997 እስከ 1999 በወንዶቹ በተከታታይ 3 ዓመት ይህንን ውድድር በማሸነፍ ታሪክ መስራት የቻለ አትሌት ነው። እንደነ በዳሶ ቱርቤ፣ በላዬ ወለሼ፣ ካሲኔ አዲሎ፣ ሲራጅ ገና፣ ጌቦ ቡርካ የመሳሰሉ ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች በወንዶች ይህንን ማራቶን ደጋግመው ማሸነፍ ችለዋል። በሴቶች ደግሞ ሲጫላ ደላሳ፣ ሂሩት ጥበቡ፣ አማኔ ጎበና፣ አለሚቱ አበራ፣ ኮረን ጀላል፣ አሹ ቃሲም፣ ብዙነሽ ኡርጌሳና አጸደ ባይሳ የመሳሰሉ ታላላቅ አትሌቶች ለኢትዮጵያ አስገራሚ የሚባሉ ድሎችን ማሳካት ችለዋል። በጥቅሉ ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች በውድድሩ ላይ በ18 የተለያዩ ውድድሮች የወርቅ ሜዳሊያዎችን በመውሰድ ማጠናቀቅ ችለዋል። አዘጋጇ ሀገር ቱርክ የራሷን የኢስታንቡልን ማራቶን በወንዶችና በሴቶች በድምሩ 15 ጊዜ ብቻ ነው ያሸነፈችው። ዘንድሮ በ2025 የተደረገው ይህ ውድድር አስደናቂ ትንቅንቅን ያስመለከተ ነበረ። ኖቬምበር 2 2025 በፈረንጆቹ አቆጣጠር የተከናወነው ይህ ማራቶን በኢትዮጵያዊቷ አንጋ የቀድሞ የትራክ አትሌት ሶፊያ አሰፋና Bizuager አደራ መካከል እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ የዘለቀ ትንቅንቅን አሳይቶናል። የ37 ዓመቷ ሶፊያ አሰፋ ከዚህ ቀደም በ3000 መሰናክል በኦሎምፒክ ውድድር ለኢትዮጵያ በ2012 የለንደን ኦሎምፒክ ላይ በ3000 መሰናክል ብር ማምጣት ችላለች። ደግሞ በዓለም ሻምፒዮና በ2013 በሞስኮ በ3000 መሰናክል ነሐስ አምጥታለች። ከዚያ ባለፈ በአፍሪካ ጨዋታዎች ብራዛቪል ላይ በ2015 ወርቅ ያስገኘች ሲሆን በአፍሪካ አትሌቲክስ ሻምፒዮና ደግሞ 2010 እና 2014 የብር ሜዳሊያን ማምጣት የቻለች አትሌት ናት። አንጋፋዋ ሶፊያ አሰፋ አሁን የውድድር ትኩረቷን ወደ ማራቶን አድርጋለች። በኢስታንቡል ማራቶን ደግሞ በሚገርም ሁኔታ እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ ለአሸናፊነት ተፋጣለች። የገባችበት ሰዓት ደግሞ 2 ሰዓት ከ26 ከ21 ሆኗል።
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
ከዛ ባለፈ በኮፐንሃገን የዴንማርክ ማራቶንም በተመሳሳይ ሰዓት አትሌቷ ማጠናቀቅ ችላለች። የጎዳና ላይ ውድድሮችን በተደጋጋሚ ስታደርግ የነበረችው ሶፊያ አሰፋ አሁን ወደ ጥሩ ብቃት እየመጣች ትገኛለች። እርሷን ስትፎካከራት የነበረችው እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ አንገት ለአንገት ተናንቃት ለአሸናፊነት የታገለችው ደግሞ ወጣቷ አትሌት Bizuager አደራ ናት። 2025 ከገባ በኋላ እቺ አትሌት በሞሮኮ የራባት ማራቶን ተካፍላ 2 ሰዓት ከ21 ከ27 በመግባት አምስተኛ ሆና አጠናቃለች። አሁን የኢስታንቡልን ማራቶን ጥርሷን ነክሳ 2 ሰዓት ከ26 ከ19 የገባችበት ሰዓት ሆኗል። ምስራቅ አፍሪካውያን አትሌቶች በአስገራሚ ብቃት በተቆጣጠሩት በዚህ ውድድር ላይ ከሴቶቹ ትንቅንቅ ባለፈ በወንዶቹም ቢሆን አስገራሚ ውጤት ተመዝግቧል። ደጀኔ ደበላ 2 ሰዓት ከ10 ከ22 መግባት ችሏል። ሱፋሮ ዋሊይ ደግሞ 2 ሰዓት ከ10 ከ25 በመግባት ተከትሎት ድል አሳክቷል። በሴቶች ውድድር ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች አንደኛና ሁለተኛ ሆነው ያጠናቀቁ ሲሆን አራተኛ ትዕግስት ጌትነት፣ አምስተኛ ጌጤ ዱካለ፣ ስድስተኛ ደግሞ ሮማን ግደይ ሆነው አጠናቀዋል። ይህ ህዳር ወር ላይ ተደርጎ በአስገራሚ ብቃት በኢትዮጵያውያን የበላይነት የተጠናቀቀውን የ2025 የኢስታንቡል ማራቶንን እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ በመከታተል እንድትዝናኑበት ጋበዝናችሁ። ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ኮሜንት በማድረግ ተሳተፉ። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን መሆኑን እንዳትዘነጉት። ሰላም።
What is it? Sizable pack. I mean, the two packs actually now are not dissimilar in size. I think the men's pack is slightly bigger. It'll be interesting to see if the men can maintain this really healthy tempo they're hanging on to at the moment. 13k, they've gone through in 39.46. That was a 3:04, that 13 kilometre. They had ran a 3:01 and then a 3 minute exactly kilometre split through to 13 through to 12k. Men's course record. Well, it could be under real threat here today. Remember, sub 2:10 times here are very rarely run, but at 2:09.44 by Daniel Kipkore-Kibet of Kenya back in 2019. So what, 6 years ago? It'll be 6 years ago tomorrow, actually. Now, during his record run, Kibet went through 10k in 30:14. They've gone through this morning in 30:41, so they were about 30 seconds down there, but the next split will be very significant, the 15k split, to see if they've clawed back a bit of ground on that virtual figure of Daniel Kibet, who's at the moment about 100 metres up the road ahead of them. The shadows are shortening slightly here in Istanbul as the sun climbs higher into the Turkish sky. It's almost quarter to 10 in the morning local time. We're 3 hours ahead of the UK, 2 hours ahead of Central European time. And while the crowds might not be out on the roads, the conditions are very friendly indeed, very welcoming, lovely racing conditions here in this city. I think the second biggest city in Europe. I think Moscow is the biggest city in Europe with about 19 million. This city is about 15.5, 16 million. Istanbul, and then I think London comes next. London just makes it onto the roster in third place with about 10 million. And then there's quite a big drop off to the next biggest European city. A lot of people watching this in bed on this Sunday morning on local TV or enjoying a stroll around their neighbourhood, but not out supporting the races on what is Kennedy Boulevard along this southern section of the race alongside the Bosphorus. There is the Blue Mosque, quite magnificent with Asia in the background. Some of the backdrops and the sights in this city, which is an undulating city. There's not a lot of flat ground when you come away from the water rhythm. 19 kilometres they've actually passed through as well now, 58:13 at 19k, and that was a 3:05. So the men well on their way to 20k, then left a picture. To the right a picture, the women a kilometre or so further back. Slightly smaller pack. But the men moving well now on this section where they're bearing slightly left. Let's just see, they're approaching 20k. They're down towards the southwestern end of the course now, and heading more in a westerly direction than southwest. But they continue to hug the banks of the Bosphorus for another 6k, 6 kilometers or so before they take a right-hand U-turn and head back towards the finish in a northeasterly direction. Now there were predictions that the wind this morning would be at about 14 kilometers per hour out there, but it looks to me like there's virtually zero wind. I can't see any movement alongside the men there to the left of picture. In the leaves and the trees, I don't think there's any wind out there. It's always very, very hard to tell. Look at that flag, top of picture to the left there. There is some breeze, but I think down at the water level, the men may be a little bit more sheltered from the wind. Should be enjoying good conditions here. Now, one or two athletes just beginning to peel away in that men's race. Didn't reach 20k yet, but they are very close to it. Got through 19k, as I said, in 58.13. The men are about 20 seconds away from 20k, and then we'll get a better idea of their tempo compared with that of the course record holder when he set his record. Now, of course, he didn't necessarily run even splits. Indeed, his first half was quick, 64.12 at halfway. Came back in 65.5 minutes, so it was about a minute and 20 seconds slower in his second half than in his first half. But there's a really good shot of the men from the side on, left of your screen. You get an idea of how quick these men are moving, and I think they have picked it up a little bit. It'll be really interesting to see if the 20k split, or the 20th kilometre I should say, is a little bit faster. It's the 3:04, it's just come through. 20k mark, 61.17 for the men. It's a 3:04. When he set the course record, Kibet went through 20k in 60.50, so he did run in a very aggressive first half and then slowed quite significantly. I wonder if these fellas are going to slow this morning, or if they're going to do the opposite, if they're going to accelerate. And they've gone through 20k in 61.17. That's a little bit outside what might have been hoped for. They have been looking up kilometers roughly in the 3:04 range. Race. Well, remember they got to 10k in 33.39, 15k in 50.34, so their 20k split is a little distance away just yet. We're expecting something around 68 minutes for the women at 20k, so they're about 5 minutes away from that right now. Well, the third wave of the 15k is about to get underway. Remember the massive field in that one. 3 different waves heading off today. And just looking at the third wave due off at 10:05. That's what the time is now. So they're enjoying themselves, all waving up at the drone camera there. And the great thing about waves is that every group of people in each wave, whether it's 2,000 or 4,000 or 7,000 strong, as I think is the case in Berlin, each group gets that feeling of being the stars. They get that wonderful atmosphere, that wonderful excitement is generated for them. And there they are waiting patiently to get underway. The volunteers, of which there are thousands that assist this event, a massive thank you to them, by the way, doing a fabulous job keeping things under control there. Back to this men's race though, 61.16 as I said at 20k. That is the official split. 3:04 getting them to that point. And we're not far now from the halfway point, of course, in this men's race. The turnaround, by the way, is at about 25k. So they've got quite some way to go yet before they take a right-hand U-turn at the southwestern corner of the race down near the Air Force Academy and head back towards the central part of the city, the heartbeat of the city, Sultanahmet Square. There are two pacemakers there for Dejene.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
Michael Mutai doing a fine job as well. The pair of them working together to keep this pack of women on track. And it has whittled down quite a bit, hasn't it? How many women are in there behind these two pacemakers? How many female athletes? 2, 4, maybe only 7 or 8, I think, behind them now. It has got smaller. A tiny figure of Getnet running, I'm not sure why, in a t-shirt this morning. To the right of that group. Back to this lead pack. They've gone through 21k and 64.21, and the halfway 64.41. Halfway 64.41, so they are on schedule for a new course record with that split. That's a great running. 64.21 was the time at 21k. That was a 3:04 as well. They have got to negotiate that big hill in the last mile, the last 1.5 kilometers or so. So let's hope that they can build up a little bit more of a cushion. But their halfway time 64.41 compares with 64.12 when Kipkore Kibet set the course record of 2:09.44. That was 6 years ago, but his second half was a very, very much slower 65.32. So I think maybe, just maybe, these athletes running a more cautious, steady race today. Ooh, and somebody stopped with cramp. One athlete's had to pull up there towards the back of this group. Stopped and rubbed his calf. I don't know what he felt. Maybe cramp. He's lost about 30 meters on this main pack, who are motoring nicely now. Moving all over the road, trying to run the tangents, the shortest line from one sweeping curve to the next. So, who is in there in this women's race? In the orange is Joan Kilimo. She's looking cool. To the right of picture them in the t-shirt is Getnet. Bizuager is there as well. Bizuager Aderra, the 22-year-old. She's a 2:28 performance. She ran that in Rabat when she was 5th last April. Gete is there as well. Trying to see Gete Dukale, yes, the 2:26 performer from Wuxi. Was in March this year, 2:26 she ran there. And there's a couple of others there in the back who it's hard to identify. Certainly Joan Kilimo, Getnet making their presence felt. I'm not sure I've seen Sofia Assefa in there at the moment. Is Sofia Assefa up there? Yes, she is at 20k, 67.35 for the women at 20k. And it's Gete Dukale, Sofia Assefa, Getnet, Joan Jepkosgei, Bizuager, Aderra, Misa Yima is there as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 athletes in that women's pack. It was 12 at 10k. The Sultanahmet Mosque, the Blue Mosque, the mosque built by the Ottoman Sultan Ahmed I, is one of the greatest works of art in Istanbul and the last stop of the uniquely beautiful Istanbul Marathon racecourse. The organisers recommend you visit the Blue Mosque, which has become the focus of local and foreign tourists, and take a small historical tour of Sultanahmet Square. I was in there last year, the Blue Mosque. It is quite astonishing. And why is it called the Blue Mosque? Well, inside there are thousands of Ijnik tiles painted with floral motifs, which are mainly blue. So it's the colours inside the mosque that are blue, that largely blue, that give it its name, the Blue Mosque. It a classical Ottoman layout is that mosque. And now a classical moment in this race as they take the left-hand turn and head up into Gulhane Park. This is the tough climb. They lean into it now, and this is where you need to kick in hard, and this is where the gaps appear. And look at the pushing hard here. The battle now seems to be between Dejene Debela, the defending champion, and Ronzas Lokitam Kilimo. Fittingly, Debela, the defending champion, where's number 1? Kilimo, where's number 2? And it looks like Hussein Chan, his challenge has wilted. Where is he? Back in 5th place, I think. He's struggling to stay with this surge from the leading pair. In 3rd and 4th, Sufaro Woliyi and Isaac Kemboy 2 are battling away for a place on the rostrum. Sufaro in the orange there, left of picture, looks like he's going well, maybe a little bit better than Isaac 2. But this is a massive clash between this pair. Dejene Debela, a 30-year-old in 2nd place, the defending champion. There you are, they've got over the first little climb, then it flattens out and even goes down a little bit. And then the big climb yet to come is the hardest, and it's the final climb up into Sultanahmet Square. Through this park, it's rather glorious, a super little park, lots of greenery as you can see, a bit of shade, nice surface for running on, and it flattens out here. But soon they begin the second climb, and it's a massive climb up until Sultanahmet. Dejene Debela has been here and done it before, and he got it right last year. I'll tell you what, Sufaro Woliyi hasn't given up, back in 3rd place. He might be about 25 metres down, but don't write him off because he is still there. There is no chance for these two to relax. Neither of them can afford to give ground here, not just because of the other one, but because of Sufaro back in 3rd place in the women's race. There's still, with this pack, 2 male pacemakers, 5 women tucked in behind them, and with 2 hours 8 minutes on the clock, what sort of time are they heading for? We don't have a 35-kilometer split from them. Well, Gulhane Park, as Ronzas Kilimo kicks hard and gets a gap on last year's champion, Gulhane Park, where the Tanzimat Fermani, which is the first concrete step of democratization, is read, has a very important place in the history of Turkey. This historical park, well, I've lost the catch. Let's concentrate on the great racing here, but it does look like Ronzas Lokitam Kilimo is heading for a win here, because I think he might have broken last year's champion. The Kenyan leads from the Ethiopian. The classical clash between the two great East African nations here. Similar age. Kilimo is 29, Debela is 30, both strong. There's Sufaro Woliyi in 3rd place. He's battling away to try and come back at these two, and he might get there yet because he's gaining ground on Dejene Debela. But Ronzas Kilimo maybe is heading for victory now. He has that gap, it's about 20 metres back to Debela. The crowds here roaring them on as they come up towards Sultanahmet Square. It's at Medani, between the entrance gate of the Blue Mosque and the obelisk. But Ronzas Kilimo surely now is heading for victory. His legs are almost buckling up until Sultanahmet Square, where it flattens out for the last 150 metres or so towards the finish line. We're in a small marquee beside the finish line, loving the atmosphere here. The music is booming, the crowds are roaring. And here he comes now, Ronzas Lokitam Kilimo. He lost by 1 second in Seoul last year when he set his personal best. He's making no mistake here today. He's going to win this one. He punches the air. Time to celebrate. This man loves action movies, he said to me yesterday. Well, this is an action movie unfolding here because he is the champion of the 47th Turkey Isbankazi Marathon, and a brilliant run from him. 2 hours, 10 minutes, 12 seconds, unofficially. We'll confirm that for you very shortly. Dejene takes 2nd place. Dejene Debela, he couldn't repeat his win of last year. And in 3rd place, brilliant run there from Sufaro Woliyi. Wow, they know they've been in a race, these fellas. Talk about a kick in the tail. The last few 100 metres of this race are so cruel. reduced to lying down. Dejene Debela, last year's winner, and what a brilliant run. They're coming through. Hussein Chan just crosses the line in 5th place.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
Now they're on the flatter section. Gulhane Park then. It has a kick in its tail. First of all, it makes you climb up away from the coast road. Then it flattens out like this. And then it climbs again. Now, the pacemaker here, this is an interesting situation. Because we have a battle royal between 3 women. And there's a pacemaker there. And he now is sort of helping Michael Mutai. Bizuager Aderra. Because he's staying with her. And he really should step aside now and let these 4 women battle it out. Sofia Assefa has come back into the reckoning in the white t-shirt in 2nd place. Joan Jepkosgei Kilimo is there in 3rd place, effectively. And Tig's getting it back in 4th. But let these 4 race now. Yes, and that's the way it should be. Should have happened ages ago. Bizuager, unheralded. You can go onto reference sites and she doesn't even have a date of birth. I know she's 22 is what I've been told. Her lifetime best is 2:28. She's going to smash that here today. That was when she was 5th in Rabat in April this year. She's coached by Selimon. That's all I have about her. She is relatively inexperienced. And I think that Rabat run back in April was her debut. She's only had the 1 race that I'm aware of in the Moroccan capital. But now, Sofia Assefa, who looked dead and buried 15 minutes ago, has come back into the reckoning and is battling away. Now, she, remember, is the former Olympic steeplechase silver medalist from London 2012. And I've always said that steeplechasers are a different breed. They are very, very tough. It's such a difficult event. And I wonder if that toughness now is coming to her benefit. Because I thought she was gone. She was back in 5th place a while ago. She was the first to drop away from a pack of 5. She's gone through a really bad section. Now she's maintaining and pushing hard and trying to get through to 1st place. And this is going to be another superb battle on this last final climb. Here are some of the men running outside at 2:24, 400 meters to go there. You can see that sign. But this is the 2nd climb. It's a vicious one. It's longer than the 1st one. Out of Gulhane Park. Bizuager Aderra leading at the moment. The smaller of these 2 has a best of just 2:28. Sofia Assefa has a best of 2:20, 2:23. She's 5 minutes faster on paper. But Bizuager here is broaching new ground, and she's going to run a personal best. There's no doubt about it here. 2:28.27. She's going to run a new personal best by a couple of minutes, I reckon, in these tough conditions. This is superb from Bizuager. Bizuager Aderra up against Sofia Assefa, who is more experienced. Mind you, I say she's more experienced. It's only Assefa's 3rd marathon, and it's Bizuager Aderra's 2nd marathon. So these are both relative newbies to the world of marathon racing. But look at this, $50,000 for the winner. They're almost into the home straight. Sofia Assefa is the former track runner. She's been a great runner at the steeplechase for many, many years. A World Championship bronze medalist, an Olympic silver medalist, and she cannot catch Bizuager Aderra. Ethiopia against Ethiopia here. Bizuager Aderra with that massive carrot of huge prize money here at this 47th edition of the marathon here in Istanbul. She cannot catch her. Sofia Assefa powerless to find those extra 3 meters to catch her compatriot. It's going to be so tight at the line, but this is a battle of survival for this pair. And it's going to be a champion from Ethiopia, and it's going to be an unexpected champion. Bizuager Aderra here is going to be the champion of this 47th edition of the Istanbul Marathon absolutely superb. 2:26.08 unofficially. She takes the win, she takes the big money. She runs a personal best by over 2 minutes. Sofia.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
Come back to take second place in a brilliant battle between this pair. We could see the third place across the line, but we didn't get that. Joan, Jepkosgei, Kilimo, I think, taking third place. They're wearing 106. And it takes getting fourth place, I think.
It's going to be so tight at the line, but this is a battle of survival for this pair. It's going to be a champion from Ethiopia. It's going to be an unexpected
Bizuager Aderra's winning time 2:26.19. Sofia Assefa 2:26.21. Just 2 seconds in it after 42 kilometers. Joan, Jepkosgei, Kilimo 2:26.36 was a further 15 seconds back. Then Tiggs getting it was 2:26.44. Further 8 seconds back. Look at this. The legs have gone completely. Dejene Debela. How painful is this? She's in 5th place, but she can hardly move. Utter survival, that's all it is for her, this last few meters. Not sure why she's checking her watch. Maybe she's hoping she'll break 2:30. I'm sure she will. It's been a solid run from her, Dejene Debela. She's close to her personal best. Her lifetime best is 2:26.08. That was when she took 3rd place in Wuxi, in Tokyo, in China, in March this year. She's going to finish 5th place here today, Dejene Debela. What a day of racing we've had in conditions that have got more and more challenging for these runners. It's got warmer and warmer, and now just checking the temperature here in Istanbul. Well, it's pushing 19, it's 20 degrees here in Istanbul now. It's been a cruel second half of this race for them as the temperatures have climbed. But look at this. Sheer guts, mind over matter here for Dejene Debela. She is telling her legs, keep moving, keep moving. She's really hurting. It's still a very solid run. In these conditions, anything under 2:30 is fabulous. Roman Gide in 6th place, but I don't think she's got time to catch Debela. Dejene Debela getting applause from the big crowds here at the finish line of Sultanahmet Square. Brave, brave run from her. What a welcome sight this will be for her to get over the finish line. There it is. The finish is done and dusted for her. Her time unofficially 2:29.07. And Roman Gide, well, she's a 2:25 performer, so it's been a tough race for her. She's going to finish in 6th place. Well, she didn't finish the Wuxi Marathon in March. That's her only other race this year. But she's finished here today, albeit just inside 2:30. Finishes with a rally there. Strong surge towards the line from Roman Gide. 2:29.40 unofficially. She ran 3 marathons last year. She won in Tianjin in 2:29. She was 3rd in Guangzhou, 2:25. And then 2 weeks later, she ran in Guangzhou again, ran 2:26. Those were both in December. But, that's a really solid run from Roman Gide for 6th place.